Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnavrishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So today there is no class by Prochi because he is giving Bhagavatam class. So today we will discuss directly from purport. So here very important understanding from the Shastra. So the in Vedic culture, there is a difference. In Vedic culture, after you get married, you start loving the person. Presently, you love and then marry. So there is a fundamental difference in the understanding. Previously, it is you marry and then love. And now you love and then marry. And why it is a difference? Because people they understood what is responsibility. That's why it becomes very easy for them that it is not what I like, what I don't like, because they understand the duty. That's why it becomes very easy for them to see. So, yesterday we were discussing one important point. What is the fundamental difference between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga? Basically, the identity. In Karma Yoga, people in Karma Yoga they identify themselves as Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha. Whereas in Bhakti Yoga, the identity itself changes. Basically, we work at the level of ego. We start functioning from the ego level. That is the main difference. Then, this is basically what makes a person different from Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga. That's why even at the most beginning stage of Bhakti, a person is considered practicing pure devotional service and he can be considered as free from karma because he has changed the identity only, which is the most difficult thing. Looks very simple. Identifying ourselves as servant of Krishna, that is little more difficult, but we can identify servant of our Guru, which is little more relatively easy. And that is the only way we can cut out of this material bondage. Saiva sadhushukutu mokshadvaram pavritam. So when we are attached to a sadhu, then shushusho shraddhadanasya vasudeva katarachi. Shan mahat sevaya. When we start serving mahat, or when we start identifying ourselves with mahat also, that also will help us to get rid of these attachments, which are very, very difficult. That's why people don't understand how no, you are able to do it. Because yes, because if a person is acting, and that is the difference. If we are acting without attachment to the labor, then our activity becomes a sacrifice. So now I am doing it for somebody else. So it's a sacrifice. And the sacrifice not for any material thing. It's directly spiritual. And this is the activity. If I act for our own sake, and if we are acting for our false ego, then we cannot be happy. Our happiness is actually very difficult to get rid of our false ego. And even in spiritual life, because uh, false ego, it is so closely connected to the soul. Soul has nothing to do with material body, with material mind, with material and material energy. But the soul looks into the mirror of mind, and we have this mirror of the reason, that is buddhi. And This is actually what is holding us to this material world. They have to go to Himalayas and do so much tapasya just to get this one understanding that I am not the body, spirit, soul. To get this spiritual realization, how much tapasya they are doing. This is like this is what is the most difficult thing, because our false ego, it makes us think I am God. The soul is a reflection of soul in the mirror of mind, and we are so strongly attached to it. It becomes quite difficult. And people who have realized, for them it becomes it's for them it's all joke that is happening. They say why people are so much affected by it, but we are affected. And especially if you see this reality shows and all, where people come and perform some singing, dancing, and people become so emotional. The people who are watching, the people who are doing, all are completely prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham manyate. The person who is doing, he thinks he is the doer. The person they are watching, they think that person is doer. And what happens is everybody is in an emotional state that is completely detrimental for any spiritual progress. Somebody is emotional, he can never understand. He thinks he is the doer, and if he is not able to perform, then he starts crying. And if he performs, then also he cries in happiness and in distress. And both are the cause of our entanglement. And then the people who are watching, they also consider this person is the doer. Then what happens? They also want to do it. And that becomes another big problem. Everybody is caught up in a great illusion by Prakriti, and this is what is presently happening. All these reality shows and all, they're giving a person a false identity. Previously, it was not like that. Who used to perform previously? Only Shudras used to perform. They are not a very high class of the society who are performing. Like king used to have his court and used to conduct his court, and then he used to have brahmanas and some very elite vaishyas and the kingly order. And then they used to sit, and some people used to come and perform and entertain them. And they used to entertain, and then they go away, they take some money. So the people who gives entertainment, they are considered the not very high class of society. Even West also, it is not in India. I think one of the famous philosopher long back, few hundred years back, he said that keep these entertainers out of the city because they cause people false notions and false identity, and which causes great mm, misfortune for people because they don't understand the purpose of life. They think they are the cause of the do. They are the cause, and they are the doers and cause of the activity, and finish. This is it's not that we should not enjoy doing activity. We can enjoy the activity, but not result. That people don't understand only how we cannot enjoy result. And see, when Arjuna is telling to Krishna, I will not kill, it looks like Arjuna is very saintly and Arjuna is trying to do non-violence. But Krishna is telling this is bogus. You still have false ego. Why Arjuna is telling I don't want to kill? Because the reason for Arjuna not killing is they are my people, Swajana. If in that case, if in front of Arjuna there are some other people who are not connected to him, he will definitely kill because he did also. He went and for the sake of Indra, he killed Nirata Kavachas and came. That means Arjuna is ready to kill. But here he is not killing, and because he's identifying, the false ego is identifying that they are my people. That's why he's not killing. Not that there is great compassion. Krishna is telling, it looks like you are compassionate. I am telling to be violent. But Krishna, actually, Arjuna is also violent only because it is just false ego that is talking. Krishna said, see, if you have this motive, mine and there, then always you will perform, you will do a mistake only. It is not mine and theirs. It is what is right, what is wrong. So that is what is the motivation that should be. And a reflection of soul in the mirror of mind. So we are attached to this. And now Arjuna is ready to sacrifice. Sacrifice for their own people. It looks like a sacrifice. Yes, I want to kill myself. Arjuna was ready to kill himself. He said, even if they come unarmed and they come and kill me also, and that also no problem. You say, what a sacrifice. And sometimes the husband does sacrifice for the family, wife does sacrifice for the family, and for the sake of preserving. Basically, it's all what? It's preserving false ego only. And the spiritual path also, people come with false ego, and they clean toilets. They think, yes, I am such a humble devotee. But just by cleaning the toilet, a person will not make. They think, "Na, in the temple you have to do menial service. The heart is clean." But so many people are doing menial service whole day. Why their hearts are not getting clean? Like if they give this, you go and clean the temple, heart is clean. Then there are so many people, paid people in temple also. We keep cleaning people who are cleaning the temple. Why their heart is not getting clean then? If cleaning itself gives heart cleaning. And this is actually very important understanding. It's not just we are looking at So we are doing with false ego only. That's why it is not getting cleansed. We look into our mouth, the soul is looking into the reflection of mind, but the mirror is very curved. It is not very proper mirror. The soul looks into it and thinks, oh, how good I am, how wonderful I am. And that becomes our false ego. The reflection of soul in the mirror of mind. Mind is reflecting what you are, but the mirror is not correct. Then how we see? We see in a distorted way. I see I am such a nice person, I am intelligent, I am this, I am foolish, I am dull, I am poor, I am rich. So that is what is reflected in our mind. So I start identifying myself like that. So then we are attached to this. Yes, yes, I am such a nice thing. This is what should happen. I am a rich person. I am Indian. And because I am identifying Indian, whenever India wins, I am joyful. Whenever India loses, I am crying. So it is not losing or winning because my identity is making cry. If there is so other country, some soccer is played between some two continents, America, nothing will affect me because I don't identify anything. What happens is when in childhood we used to sit and sometime watch soccer or something. Then we say, okay, this red dress is my team. We'll say this blue dress is your team. First, I had to identify with some team. We don't know the names also that time. And then we used to feel that this should win, and my friend will feel okay, they should win. And because we identified, then only we feel the emotions. Otherwise, no emotion. Anybody wins does not matter. But red wins, yes. My team is winning because I identified as my team. So this is how the false ego is there. Arjuna is telling I am sacrificing, but it is all false ego. If you say I am doing for my family, it's all false ego only. It's not sacrifice. That's why you don't get the benefit of sacrifice. I did so much for my family. I am sacrificing my life. Will I get spiritual advancement? I sacrifice my life for family. Will I get spiritual advancement? No. Arjuna is ready to sacrifice. Will he get spiritual advancement? No. Krishna is telling that is not the way. He's telling to sacrifice. If you see fourth chapter, he's telling all types of sacrifice. Arjuna is telling I'm ready enough for that before. No, but it is not the way. So it's not what we are doing, but it is the state of consciousness uh, that is actually very important because as soon as we start doing something, we start identifying with it, and then that is the when we uh, this is happens in spiritual life also. There is a trap every time because we become attached and we take up the same position and we become attached to this position in the spiritual life. I am so and so leader or this that, and we become to some kind of image that we created for ourselves. We work for ourselves. See, I work. I am a preacher. I am a book distributor. So we created ourselves this one, and which somehow we feed it. Now the point is, because false ego is such a thing, it is very easy to nourish. She eats all sorts of rubbish and everything. Like very bad example, but mushrooms, they grow on uh, they grow in a very dirty place. Dirty place means especially all these manures are kept, human and animal manure is there. There it grows. It is like false ego. If it feeds on anything, no matter what, it is easy to nourish. Prabhupada says even a beggar is proud of his penny. And I thought about, and then because very easy to get attached, and no matter what position a person occupies, what does he do, the it does not matter, a man become attached and attached to the clothes I'm wearing, this color of dress, because forgetting that his soul, and he begins to work. Instead of acting for the sake of Krishna, they act for the sake of false ego. This happens everywhere, even in spiritual life also. And he makes sacrifice for what? For that identity, he makes the sacrifice, and he makes a lot of sacrifice, and but the false ego is growing, it is not reducing. And we start always thinking how good I am, how wonderful I am, and I do so many nice things, and who, that therefore, the Prabhupada says that when a person forgets the goal of sacrifice, that's the reason we don't get benefit. I said, Arey, I did so much. We see also some devotees do so much, but they don't make much advancement. They stuck up because they forgot the goal. That everything will, then everything is no use only. That's why Krishna Bhakti is very much connected to the consciousness of the person, with what consciousness is doing, because otherwise we just nourish our false ego. That's actually what happened. He did so much book distribution. He did so much book distribution, but he nourished his false ego. He'll get Sukriti, but he'll not make so much advancement which is supposed to make, because he nourished his false ego only. That is the point. I have, means I don't want to name, but seen also some after practicing 20 25 years, they leave Krishna consciousness and start doing things outside. I think, my God, he did so much. He has made such a big service and so much sacrifice he did. And now why he is caught up with Maya now? Because of these reasons. They just nourish their false ego, and that there is a sacrifice. For the sacrifice to be successful, I must understand for whom I am doing the sacrifice, for which I am going to do the sacrifice. And there is my eternal self, there is eternal God, and there is eternally it is full of bliss, personality of Godhead, and that is how I am connected to Him. So I must make all sacrifices for this. But it is very easy to go down somehow and already in the familiar cycles, walk in their familiar, and accordingly continue to do the sacrifice to our false ego. So to whom we sacrifice, that becomes stronger. If I sacrifice for my false ego, then false ego becomes very stronger, and it becomes very rosy, it becomes very strong. And in the end, what happens is a person dies. That's all, without making any spiritual advancement. And we are all, everybody is going to die. If not today, tomorrow. If we have not fought this throughout our life, at the very end, what we are going to do? Nothing. We will be filled with pain. Oh, my false ego was not, it is not what I wanted, but somehow I became like this. And then we, even in dying also, people will think, will they create a monument for me when I'm dying? How many people will come to mourn for my death? Will they make a statue of me or some samadhi for me? He's still thinking of false ego only. At the time of death, he's not able to think of Krishna. I will think about how life is living, and this will happen very soon for everyone. Actually, like time goes very fast. For people who are old, they get more realization of this. Time went very fast. This will happen, and like a crow dressing like a peacock, trying to, not, it is trying to imitate a peacock, and but in reality, she will remain a crow only. Never. So similarly, that when we have to do what forget about our goal, the entire Bhagavad Gita is directly trying to tell this to remind a person of the goal. That's even Stephen Covey's, I think, his third rule. I think second. Start with end in mind. Bhagavad Gita is also telling. And you interestingly, if you know what Stephen Covey says, start with end in mind. He says you should remind about your goal every day. Then you will be able to perform it nicely. Start with end in mind. He gives this code, he makes this statement. And what is the formula? He says if you start with end in mind, you will achieve it. Now, how to do it? He said you should remind yourself every day about it. Now, are we doing it? Yes, every day 1 hour. In this forum, we are doing 2 hours, 7:15 to 9:15. 2 hours we are reminding about our goal. We are telling, yes, I want Krishna in life. That will that clarity of the goal is what will bring us success. If we are very clear with the goal, we are reminded. And he says that one should read Bhagavad Gita and believe in Krishna. If a person believe in Krishna, and one need to, then it will be, then his faith becomes very stronger. And then the very beginning only has this goal. And this is the biggest tragedy we can have, that forgetting. The samshayatma vinashyati. If you have doubts, that is the tragedy. We should have faith in Krishna. He says, this is what I want. The goal should be clear. And even when we are doing something wrong, that will remind us, "Arey, maybe this is not what I want." And then sometimes what happens, our conditions push us to do wrong things. Then we start praying Krishna. Krishna, I don't want it because I want you. But my conditioning are making me do. Please help me come out of it. So in this way, this is what we will achieve. So a person may know, but if he has lost faith and if doubts have eaten his heart, he will not awaken to anything good in his life. A person has faith means he has understanding of his goal very clear, understanding what is the goal and the path that leads to goal. So two things are associated with faith. Faith is that I have a goal, and perfection and happiness. Because the purpose of all people have only one goal. What is the purpose? Happiness. We all want to only one thing in life. We all want to be happy. So that means there will be clarity if a person is the one is he will develop, if he has faith, then his goal is clear for him, and that clarity is there. And then the another thing is, there is goal, we all have to come to this, and there is happiness also. One is clarity, one is happiness, absolutely unlimited to anything. It is not clouded. So these are the two things that happens if we have faith. We are happy, we are clear. That's the reason we have to hear the Siddhartha and try to understand all the detailed intricacies, so that our faith becomes very strong. Why am I doing? Why should I do? No, Nishkam Karma Yoga, Sakam Karma Yoga. I cannot do all these things. Only Bhakti Yoga I can do. Because this is, if I understand, I have developed this faith, clarity, that if I live for my own sake, no matter where I am, Who am I? In the I have to in the end it is actually a troublesome because there is no other way. This is if I have to live selflessly only to understand who am I. There is no other way. To understand my difference from the body, there is no other way than selfless activity. This is should be very clear for us. Selfless activity means not for false ego. You understand? How can selfless means I should stop working for myself and my family and start doing for others' family? Start working. No, you can work for your family, but not attached to the result. Don't serve the false ego. If I identify, so this happens actually many times. You may have experience. I also have experience. Like say, like what happens is when the children, some families go to meet other family with their children, they go and their children are very small and they start doing some mischievous things in their friend's house. So their parents become so annoyed. One is that okay, this child is doing mistake. That is one part. But more annoyed is how can my child do it? And then they start chastising and sometimes they beat also. How did you do it? And same mistake they do at home, they don't mind. But if they do it others, they become so much disturbed. Why they are disturbed? Because they start identifying. They say, my child should be good. Yes, your child should be good. But because I'm identifying that it is me, that's why we become more upset. Like we were having some gathering, of alumni, and my brother brought his son. So this fellow was doing so much mischief, and I was very upset. I told my sister I would take him out. Now nobody is bothering, but because I identified, "Arey, this fellow na, is connected to me. He should be quiet. If any other child would have done, I would have not mind. But he did immediately. There is a false ego. No, no, my thing should be always perfect. So this is the problem. So then when we do for the family that, then it's no more sacrifice. It's just sacrifice only, but for false ego. You're understanding. So I do a sacrifice, but not identifying as they are me. I do sacrifice, identifying they belong to Krishna, and Krishna gave them as a duty. I do, I sacrifice for them. Then I will gain self realization. Then I'll understand I'm not the body spirit soul. Otherwise, it is not going to happen. That means that's what I'm telling. The fundamental formula only should be changed. When we remove the identity that I am this, then only the problems. I am servant of Krishna. Anything is given by Krishna only for me. Good husband, good wife, good mother-in-law, good father-in-law, or good children or bad children. Whatever is coming from Krishna. They are all belong to Krishna. I just have to serve them. That is sacrifice. We try to change them. That is not sacrifice. We can change as a duty to Krishna, but uh, not to pamper or false ego. Okay, I will explain that. What happens is that when my children are doing anything wrong in the house, does not matter for me. But if they go and do outside, then I become more annoyed because I identify as my child and I feel he should be perfect. And no, otherwise people will think that I am not able to take care of my children properly. Because I am identifying as a false ego, I am upset with my child and I become angry, start beating and all. But it is not like that. More you identify, more you become upset. But if you say, okay, he is Krishna's child and I am supposed to take care of it, he is doing mischief, I can still remain very cool in the mind. Because yes, I will do it, I'll take care of it. And once I go, I'll train. Here you'll not become angry. You do as a duty and responsibility. But if we identify, immediately become angry. So I gave the example like when my brother brought his son, my nephew came, he was doing mischief. I was quite upset. I said, sister-in-law, you take him outside. In the meeting, you should not be here. But if some other family brought their child and he is doing mischief, I will not mind much. I said, okay, children, they will do it. But here, this fellow is also children. But I am thinking, my child, they should be perfect. Others, no problem. So, because I'm identifying, that's why I'm upset. Other children are doing mischief here, there. I'll say, no problem. Children only, they will do mischief. But here I am not doing like that. Here I am feeling, no, 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 my child, he should be perfect. This is the false identity, and that is the reason many children get beating when they go outside or to they'll get chastisement because they think I am doing normal at home. Also, I do the same thing here. Also, I am doing the same thing. Why I am getting extra chastisement here? Because you identify. So the question is, I have meditating on how to distinguish if what I am doing is real Krishna consciousness, not. Is there specific step I need to monitor? Yeah, we have to understand that we have to do it for the pleasure of Krishna and Guru. We may say it, but the identity is very important. I'm nourishing my false ego. There the problem comes. I told Arjuna is ready to sacrifice, but he's sacrificing for false ego. Krishna is telling no, you sacrifice for me. That is the difference. I am doing it for family, but I am doing because I identify myself family. That is a false ego I am serving, not the family. But if I know that they are servant of Krishna, and when I'm doing it as a service, then even if something goes wrong, also will not be a problem because I am not attached to result. I am attached as a sacrifice to service to Krishna. So this is a difference. Then only we'll get. Yeah, chastising children as a duty is not it is a sacrifice, if not for false ego. You can chastise children, that is not, they need to be chastised after age of 5 to 13, you can chastise them according to Chanakya Pandit also. But the point is that because they are servant of, they are all belong to Krishna, that's why I'm doing it. Not that uh, I need to prove in the society how great I am, how great my child is. It is not for that. He's great or not, it is Krishna will decide. But I need to do it because it is connected to Krishna. That's what I'm telling. I am not a father or mother. I am not a Brahmana Grihastha. I am only servant of Krishna. And Krishna gave me this service of a father. Krishna gave me service of mother. Krishna gave me service of a son. I will do this service. That's how we connect it. Then we will do it nicely because it is for Krishna. That is, everything is because I am kept in this position. That then there is no karma only for us because I have done only for Krishna only, na. I did this service because Krishna wanted, Krishna kept me in this situation. That's why I'm trying to do. I don't want to nourish my false ego. I only want to please Krishna. They kept me in this situation now. And Krishna want me to do this service, I will do it. Krishna don't want me to do this service after some time. He gives some other things, I will do it. That is how we start surrendering. And then there is no problem. Then there is no karma also because see, when karma comes, when there is attachment, then only karma. When there is emotion, then is karma. Other is no karma. We can be emotional, but it is not for there are emotions like Arjuna was also crying when everyone did it. It's not a problem, but he's not attached to the result. He's attached. Yes, I lost his association. I could have, it could have been nice, but okay, Krishna, if you don't want it, I am like. Uh, it's not that devotees don't cry. They don't have emotions. They have emotions, but they have higher emotion. What is that? That I am servant of Krishna. So if Krishna want me to cry because of losing somebody, I'll cry, but I'll continue to do my duty. Arjuna thought, okay, Krishna wants that my son should die, let him die. And he cried, but he continued his duty because he knows this is what Krishna wanted. Whereas Dronacharya, when his son died, he stopped doing his duty, sat in meditation, went to see his son. And then Dushtadumna comes and cuts his head. Same situation. Arjuna's son died, but Arjuna continued because because he is doing for pleasure of Krishna. But Dronacharya is not like that. Dronacharya, when he heard that his son died, he stopped doing his activity. You see the difference? Because the point is that even Karna, when he was insulted, he said first 10 days he didn't fight only. Because everybody is going by emotion. Karna is not fighting because he's emotional. Dronacharya is emotional. So they are not acting, they are acting for false ego. Whereas Arjuna, his son died or anything happened to him, he continued because he is not doing for himself, he is doing for Krishna's sake. And Krishna is keeping him in such situations, he is ready to accept it. This is the main difference. That I am not, then when Krishna says you are not attached to the fruit, you will never get entangled in this world. This is okay, Krishna, this is what you want, I will do it. And I work very hard and I performed it, but the result didn't come the way I want. Like Indian cricket team, if they are doing Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, they say, okay, Krishna, we played very nicely and still we lost the final. Does not matter because this is what you want now. No problem. We'll play it. We'll work very hard and continue doing it because this is what you want. I am okay with it. The result we are giving it to Krishna's choice. Whatever we do, Krishna, you want it this way, now? I am okay with it. Then life is very easy. No karma. Finish like that. Like otherwise, life becomes like a victim. When he catches himself on this, then every moment he will start blaming. Whom to? Otherwise, we are always blaming who is the reason for this. But we have to always ask this question: for whom I am doing this? I work for myself or Krishna? Then when we ask this question, the answer is all the time not good. Then only we, so Sugup Mata says, then only we can have real empathy and show real love. Even the situation and the persons are against us. Yes, we understand this is Krishna kept me. So my enemy is also Krishna's arrangement. My friend is also Krishna's arrangement. My friend becoming enemy, enemy becoming friend. Everything is Krishna's arrangement for me because I only do for him and let him decide what is good for me, what is bad for me. And he knows what is best for me. So I'm surrendered. This is what Krishna is expecting. Yeah, blame game is we start because we don't see connection of Krishna. Then we see the cause of my problem is mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, wife, husband, children. This. They are all cause of our problem. Then we start blaming. Array, my life got wasted because of you, and no, and we see also like there is a small children. They, my friend was telling that the mother brought the child for the tuition. 5-year-old boy, 4 5 years. Then the mother is telling in front of the tuition teacher only that this boy, na, 5 years of my life wasted because of this child. And in front of the child only. Because they start blaming, because it didn't work out the way they want. Immediately they start blaming others. This is what happens to many of them. They start criticizing that situation they are in. No, we are the cause of our situation, but we start blaming. My authority is the cause. My wife, my husband, anybody. No, our false ego is the cause. So simple, right? I am supposed to, you know, when we understand this, then things are very easy in life. When we catch every moment as who I work for, whom I'm working, yes, Guru, Krishna, then it's all clear. Yeah, I need all of your blessings so that I can implement. I'm not following. I want to follow, that's why I'm speaking. So this is what happens is I'll be reminded of it. Like yesterday also it's doing here there. Then I was reminded, oh, I'm speaking this. I should also do. I'm my guru's servant. I know I am always have to serve, but somehow whole day I don't serve him. I have serve my false ego, my senses. Because in our heart there are continuous doubts. We have not we don't have the pure knowledge that leads to the fact that I am spirit soul and understanding that I am soul. And this is actually the problem. The doubts are there. That's why we're not able to act. And we need to clear our doubts. And that comes when we start doing what Krishna tells slowly, slowly. Then Uttishta Uttishta Bharata will start awakening and then we'll follow. Right. And we have to take up this knowledge. And then we discuss this also. That we have to, the sword of knowledge cuts this doubts, and that knowledge comes when we start doing our sadhana, whatever Krishna tells. Okay, we'll just do little justice to our. So I told this story one more time. Yeah, what are the ways to fix our goal towards Krishna? We have to remind ourselves regularly. We all know that we all want to go to Krishna. The reminder is what helps us. Say today, if I am reminded, yes, whole day now, only for Krishna. Whole day, I want to somehow reach Krishna. So if this we keep every day as this goal, and we are reminded every day, our classes in the morning are reminding us of that. When we are hearing, we should hear with that mentality that I need to focus on my goal. This is the purpose of our everyday Bhagavatam by Prabhupada arranged, is to help us clarity in the goal. Why I'm just so much moody about all the things that are happening around me? Why can't I? Okay, if the husband brought us some stupid sofa in the house, which is waste of money, waste of time. But let it be now. Why I should be so moody about the sofa he brought, or the time he wasted, the money he wasted, or whatever my wife did. Anyway, she didn't do anything nicely. So what happens? We get stuck up with what happened around us, how they are dealing with us, how they are behaving, how they are not doing the way I want. We are so much stuck up with these things. That is why we are caught up. Arre, why he is behaving like this? Why can't he do things nicely? Why can't she do things nicely? So these are the things that hold us very strongly here. We need to come out of this setup. Then life becomes quite easy. That's why we need to remind ourselves about the goal regularly. In the morning, why we have to hear. So the two things. I told that goal, if faith is there, then there is a clarity and then there is happiness also. Even it does not go the way we want. It's what Krishna want now. So what is the problem? If this is what Krishna wanted and he want to things should happen in this way, let it happen the way he want. Life becomes quite easy and blissful. And we want, that's what Krishna is trying to help. Don't be an emotional platform. Don't think you are the doers. If you are doer, then you have to pay the consequences also. Very interesting. See, as soon as I think I am the doer, then only the results will come to me. Bad and good results. If I don't think I am the doer and just performing, then there is no problem only. Krishna made the system so simple to help us to get out of our false ego and to come out. Like that's why we need this strong faith. If faith is there, no matter things go wrong, we can still remain happy. I gave the small story of this Sufi tradition, right? This person, they were caught by some Babylonians or somebody they caught, not Babylonians, somebody they caught, and then they said you have to convert yourself. You should not follow any more Islam, and then otherwise your head will roll down. So the first person, he thought, okay, I know the crisis. If you say that I don't believe in Allah, that's not a problem. You'll be excused. And second person, he thought, okay, if some crisis come also, no problem. I'll say I don't belong because anyway, my ancestor is Ali. I belong to Ali. So then he will protect me. Even if I say lies that I am not following Islam, he will protect me. The third person, he said, I have not read so much of all these sharias and all. I don't know all these rules, and I don't have any contact like him. But I know one thing, that Lord will protect me. I don't have any contacts also, but the he said that because I really believe in Almighty, let them execute me, and I will die, but no problem. I'll die with a pure heart. And at least I will stand in front of Lord and I will say, for your sake I left my body. I made a sacrifice for you. And the next morning, the two were released and this person was executed. It looks a very sad ending, but important point is, because this third person, he is very happy because he made a right sacrifice and he had no doubts. The first one had knowledge and is doubtful. Second one has relationship. But third person understood that I am an eternal soul. I don't have to do anything. And therefore, Krishna is telling the same thing. Uttishta, Uttishta Bharata, get up. No matter how difficult, get up, because in this way, only way by which we can understand something in this world. And only if we walk along and follow this path, because if you this is the right path we need to go. This is the path where we can connect to the Supreme. It's not something very superficial. Really, we have to work hard. The knowledge that accompanies throughout our life, through life, which leads us through life. This is the knowledge we get when we sacrifice. At the same time, it's not blindly. We have to understand for the sake of whom I act, how do I act, how I act in this world, and for whom I work. And this will, but otherwise, I, for whom I am working in my own image which I created for myself, I am trying to keep for Krishna's sake or my sake. So all things should be very clear, and that's why when we chant also, we are saying the same thing. Krishna, I want to serve you. Krishna is telling, even while chanting also, you are not serving me. You are thinking of your own false ego even while chanting. So this is actually, any questions till now? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for the nice class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. Like even when we are doing seva, there could be so many important things in order to achieve for the pleasure of the Lord, Guru and Krishna, basically. So, but even while doing services, there could be so many people around us who may have to actually contribute or participate in the seva, but due to some false ego, they could create lot of problems within the seva. So I can understand you will definitely say it is for our purification. But how to overcome that and ultimately, do a formidable service for Guru Krishna? How to actually overcome that?
It varies from situation to situation, but I can just give some things. First is, we learn to communicate properly. That is the first thing we should learn. Like say now I want to give class, and the people around me, they are making some noise, or somebody is not, there is some problem with my internet and it is not set. Now if whoever is connected to it, we should communicate with them properly. Tell them that, Proji, I want to do this service, but it is not happening because of this reason. Please, can you help me fix it? Or can you keep, just we can talk in other place so that I will be able to give class. So the point is what? We need to express that it is not me, it is the service of Krishna. Then people will start considering. If we say, why are you not doing this? Why are you keep not keeping silent? Why are you doing this nonsense? Then people will get affected in their false ego and they will not do anything. The worst only will come out of them. But if I am able to communicate, Prabhuji, maybe you can do it little for because let us serve Krishna nicely. So if we are able to communicate, this is one thing. Another thing is there are some people whom we cannot work because they are affected by mode of ignorance. People who are affected by mode of ignorance, we cannot work with them. Even though you tell them so many things, like our maid is there, we tell her not to put tulsi in this way. We tell her put slowly, otherwise the plant will get affected. But she don't understand only. It is they work in tamoguna. Even though you tell, it looks like they heard, but they never heard because it is not registered. That is another problem. And sometimes you cannot work with people in passion also. So there are different people. You need to learn how they are working. You need to communicate accordingly and then get things done. But ultimately, all the things we should, what you told is right. Krishna is arranging so that I don't get affected and still continue to doing the service. Whatever facilities Krishna created, he knows this is best for me. Only if it is affecting our sadhana, that time we have to change the situations. Till that time, no need to change. Any situation, if it is not helping you to focus on your chanting, it is so much troubling in your focus on chanting and hearing and reading sadhana, then you need to consider the changing of situations. Otherwise, no need of any change of situations. We can just continue there, do our sadhana, and that is the best situation to get purified. Like that.
Hmm.
Means
But can I give a real life
but I'm
situation?
just
I
guessing
mean,
some situation and
uh,
give you some.
sorry, Prabhuji, I didn't get you
I don't
last.
know the situation, so I'm guessing some situations. I'm trying to give some. Uh,
Yeah, I don't mind giving the situation. It is not anything in person or whatever. It is basically, Prabhuji, say for example, this Braille Bhagavad Gita is there. A lot of, very senior people are involved. The point is like if it has to go to many visually impaired souls in the world, then it has to be released by somebody who is like, a government official or a very public figure, so that, it goes out to the world. So here, I have no such, craving for name, fame, or whatever glory. My intention is like it should go to visually impaired all over the world. So, how do I convince people? Because first thing is people will definitely think that probably, she wants a glory. But no, it's not like that. I truly wanted to go to so many people out there. So, how do I, you know, resolve this?
you can because if your motive is right, you can keep on trying. And when Krishna want, it will happen. You can contact. I can tell some of the names, and you can contact. They will definitely help. I have two, three people in mind. You can contact, and like that, you can keep contacting people, and they will have their contacts. Through that, you will get your things done, and that is not wrong. And you should do only because you want to give this message, and you have a cause, you have a purpose. You can work for it, and you do it also is not wrong. And some may help, some may not help, but you can
Mm.
keep trying. And if you are not trying, that is mistake from your side.
Actually, that is exactly what happened, Prabhuji, because whomever I approached till now, the first thing they said is, Mataji, see, are you looking for name and fame? So, I kept going back. It's almost more than a year. And I've seen within 1 year, only 100 sets have gone over all over the world, wherein so many can actually go. In India itself, I have 150 schools, Prabhuji, which I have earmarked and given to the PBT also. I said, I'll get the sponsors for you. You please do it. And if possible, I said, I won't even be present in that podium. I won't come there, but do it in such a breaking way that
You can be
it
in the
goes to.
podium, you can present it. Only thing is you have to work hard. You may not get from this contact. You try from some other contact. You'll get some other things. Only thing is that's what na. It's not the activity that will bind you. It's not the
Mm,
activity. You have to make an endeavor, and Krishna wanted to. Prabhupada also, when he was preaching, his god brothers also said, "Why you want to do? You work with us. Why you want name and fame?" They also criticized. Prabhupada did not mind. He said, "Okay, I'll start my own thing." He went alone to West. He started gone and he started preaching because he understood, because he has a purpose, he has a cause, and he is living for it. If you have a purpose and cause, the cause is very strong, then we can work for it, and we will feel satisfaction in the heart. This I did for my pleasure of my guru and Krishna. Not a problem.
Yes, Prabhuji. So nice of you for explaining it so nicely. Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll contact you regarding this.
Hare
Hare.
All the best. Shivkumar.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad.
Hmm.
Prabhu, one challenge that I see, Prabhu, between the self-realization, Prabhu, two parts we have. One is I am not the body, and the other is I am servant of Krishna. Um, I find it difficult to kind of balance these two, Prabhu. If I am focusing on leaning too much on the Atma Tattva, it kind of brings down the motivation for any activity itself. Whereas if I too much focus on just the servitorship of Krishna, then it brings down the devotional service into the materialistic platform of expecting something material, Prabhu. So it seems there is always a struggle to balance these two aspects, Prabhu.
It is not separate. Both are same only. Because we are not able to see the difference. If you see properly, both are same. Like I am servant of Krishna means I am not the body, spirit, soul only. That's why I'm servant of Krishna. And we will not get this realization I am servant of Krishna is not so easy now. For us, more easy is I am servant, sorry, I am not the body, spirit, soul is not easy now. I am actually servant of Krishna. So what happens now? We have these two tendencies of jnana and karma that are catching. In jnana platform now, I am not the body, spirit, soul. I don't want to act. This is jnana platform. And when I act, I am attached to the results. This is karma platform. So
Mhm.
these two things are what is holding us. And that's why Rupa Goswami very clearly described jnana karma anavrata bhakti. We should be free from both karma and jnana. So the jnana tendencies are also there. I don't want to act. Detachment comes suddenly. What is this family? What is this? I don't want anything. Just let me run away to Himalayas. So there is jnana tendency. I don't want to do only. I don't buy. I will just do some reading, hearing, and I'll sleep. So this is the jnana tendency. And then this karma tendency. When you do, we are attached to result. We want to perform this, that. So these are the two things that are catching us. We need to know that I am servant of Krishna. I act. The motivation for acting is because it is pleasing Krishna. And then the result, Krishna decides the result. Then why I should be bothered? So I work also, but I am not attached to result also. In Jnana, you don't want to work, but here we want to work. And then, but result, but Krishna decides this. What can I do? Then it is within Krishna's. That is the reason we need to understand these things very clearly because uh, anytime action we do, the results are so much strongly holding us. That is the point. So now, what is the alternative? Is we have to be attached to Guru. We have to develop that connection with Guru. That's why we do everyday Guru Puja, Mangalarti. Why we chant for Guru? Because that will remind us, yes, yes, I am servant of my Guru. Every time chanting, we chant the Guru mantra and then chant the holy name. It reminds us as Guru because that will help me to develop that consciousness. I am servant. So if you are servant, why you have your own choice? You should do what master says, right? If you are a servant, you just have to obey the orders. Why you are still keeping that independence? I'll not do what master says. I'll do whatever I want. That is the problem. Your master is saying do something, you do it. And then not only that, once okay, as a duty I do, my master is telling I'll do. But slowly you start developing affection for your master. Even if he didn't say something, still you want to do it for you. He told just cook. You can cook, but you want to cook very nicely and more items because it will please him. Then the affection start developing for Guru. If Guru is coming to your house, you will not make just rice dal sabji. You want to make some 10 items. Even if Guru is eating little, but you want to please him. So that way, we every day Krishna is coming and eating in our house. Why I should not cook for him very nicely? Why I should not be conscious? That's why when Mataji sir, anybody cooking, they should first offer prayers before starting cooking. Yamuna Mataji, she used to offer whole Mangalacharan before cooking because she want to be conscious. Yes, I am doing it for pleasure of Krishna, and then they used to do. So similarly for us also, we need to be conscious. Okay, whom am I doing? That's why we offer prayers for every activity before, so that I am doing it for my Guru like that.
Thank you so much, bro. Very helpful. Very good.
Yeah, some questions in chat box, we'll see. Question is, while doing my service in the temple, if any disturbance occurs with any Mataji, I always pray in my mind that for your Guru Maharaj, please, I will step down and appreciate them. Like that, I made them my friends. Yeah, this is Sugopi Mataji's realizations. So this is actually the way. Now, because of that, this is actually the way, very mature way of acting. When you step down, we can do so much. We can make them friends, we can help them serve, and we also can do service nicely. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Okay, there is a question. What about residing in Dham and performing bhakti? This is Dham is the best place to reside and perform bhakti. There is no other place. We all have to. Now there is nice because we have online preaching. You can stay in Dham and do online preaching. So there is no problem. For the sake of preaching, Prabhupada told you have to go outside and touch the people. But if you feel that you want to stay in Dham, and that is not a problem because staying in Dham also you can preach, and whomever you are preaching, you call them once or twice to Vrindavan, show them the Vrindavan Dham, send them because they need personal touch also. So you preach online and invite them to Dham. You can have 3-4 groups, and 3-4 groups will come 3-4 times to Dham, Karti, Gaur Purnima time here, there, and then nicely take them for Yatra. So in that way, you can serve them. So preaching from Vrindavan is also possible. But service should be done. Dham is meant for service and sadhana. So in that way, it is easy only. So another question is really stepping down is answer? How about service if do not go as planned? Yeah, stepping down is not always the answer, but some cases it is the answer. And if it is not going some cases, no, we have to see if that person is not doing nicely and you can do nicely. We have to properly communicate, and you can say that, Proji, maybe I'm good at it. Let me try this time. Maybe in future you can also do. So stepping down is not always the answer, but if it is some simple services, then that is the answer, like some flower making or little bit of cooking and all. So regular things we can do it, but otherwise it is better that we can step down. Some regular, if very crucial services come, then we have to take charge of it. And if results don't go according to, yeah, it will never go our way. The results are never according to our way. The results are always according to Krishna only. But we need to be responsible. That's what Krishna wanted. Arjuna is telling, I will not fight. No, results are not according to me. Krishna says, why are you bothered about result? You do because I want it. Results I am already decided. What is to be happen, I decided. You do your duty and get purified and go to the spiritual world. So for us, even if everything fails at the end of life, does not matter. I have done for Krishna and I can go back home back to Godhead. Array, I didn't even make one temple. I didn't make even few very strong devotees. I could not do much book distribution. No matter. You tried properly with proper consciousness, you can go to the spiritual world. Because result is not in our hand. Result Krishna is like Prabhupada tried for 40 years in India, nothing worked. Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Why nobody changed? Because Krishna didn't want it. And when Prabhupada went to America in 12 years, everything happened. Why? Because Krishna wanted it like that. Krishna wanted to show power of Prabhupada. But he preached in India. Now we preach, so many people come. Prabhupada is giving class, nobody is attending only. For 40 years, Prabhupada couldn't. Of course, Prabhupada did some success was there. But he could not make even one temple till age of 70. And now we can make. Prabhupada could not make. Why? Because Krishna didn't want it. That's all. And when Krishna wanted it, it happened like that. And that made Prabhupada more glorious. So Prabhupada, Krishna has a plan for Prabhupada. So that now, that is how. Now, with the name of Prabhupada, we are making hundreds of temples. And because that is how Krishna wanted it. So result is not the point. We need not bother about it. It will not have according to our plan, because never it will happen according to our plan. It is always according to his plan only. That is what we can understand. Clear too? Any questions, comments? I think we have to do little justice to the purports also. So just I will take one shloka and purport so that we'll complete our syllabus also. I thought I'll complete today chapter, but it will not happen. This is also very nice. What Sukadeva Goswami tells about the creation and all. O king, know from me that all living entities are created by the Supreme Lord according to their past deeds. So this is connects. The living entity, including Brahma and his sons like Daksha, the periodical heads like Vaivasvat Manu, and the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna, the great sages like Bhrigu, Vyasa, and Vasistha, the inhabitants of Pitraloka and Siddhalokas, the Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Asuras, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and angels. The serpents, the monkey shaped Kimpurushas, the human beings, the inhabitants of Matraloka, the demons, Pishachas, ghosts, spirits, lunatics, and evil spirits, the good, the evil stars, the hobblings, animals in the forest, the birds, the household animals, the reptiles, the mountains, the moving, the standing living entities, the living entities born from embryo, from egg, from perspiration, from seeds, and all others, whether they be in water or land or in sky, in happiness and distress or in mixed happiness and distress, all of them, according to their past deeds, are created by Supreme Lord. So he's trying to give the list so that you don't miss anyone. Prabhupada writes nice. The varieties of living entity are mentioned in the list, and with no exception, from the topmost down to the lower planets of the universe, all of them in different species of life are created by the Almighty Father Vishnu. Therefore, no one is independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord therefore claims all living entities are as his offsprings. The following verse: Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya Murtya Sambhavanti Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir Aham Bhija Pradapitaha. Now, Prabhupada writes, the material nature is compared to mother. Although every living being is seen to come out of mother's body, it is still a fact that mother is not the ultimate cause of such a birth. The father is the ultimate cause of birth. So even we are coming from mother, but father is the cause. Without father's seed, no mother can give birth to a child. Therefore, the living being is in different varieties of forms and positions within the innumerable universes are all born of the seed of the Almighty Father, the personality of God. So the question is there, na? Egg comes first or hen comes first? The answer is egg comes first. That is Krishna. And only to the man with a poor fund of knowledge do they appear to be born of the material nature. Being under the material nature of the Supreme Lord, all living beings, entity, beginning from Brahma down to insignificant, are manifested in different bodies according to their past deeds. And Prabhupada writes that some of the living entities are relatively happy in better condition of life, whereas others are distressed condition of life. But factually, none of them are actually happy in mental condition. Both miserable and happy, it's misery only. No one can be happy in a prison life. Although one may be a first class prisoner, another is third class prisoner. But they cannot be happy. The intelligent person should not try to promote from third class prison life to the first class prison life, but should try to release from the prison altogether. One may be promoted. That's why Narada Muni said, Are you are just promoting from third class prison to first class prison. All these scriptures are only promoting from this level to that level. Just give one scriptures which will directly help them come out of it. One may be promoted to a first class prisoner, but same first class prisoner may again be degraded to third class prisoner in the next term. One should try to be free from prison life and go back home, back to Godhead. That is the real goal of all types of living entities. Sattvam Rajastama iti Trishsura Naraka tatrapi ekaikas rajan vidyate gatayastridha yadaikaikarta yadaika tatra nabhyam swabhava upahanyate. He says that according to the different modes of nature, this is very important. According to the different modes of material nature, the mode of goodness, mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, there are different living creatures who are known as demigods, human beings, and the hellish living entities. O king, even a particular mode of nature being mixed with other two is divided into three, and then each kind of living creature is influenced by this the other modes and acquire its habits also. So we are all just modes only. Who are we means we are actually mixture of modes. Now I am mixture of mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. That's all. That is what is I am. The soul has nothing to do with this. We are just a mixer, combination. All these modes are acting around us. Goodness is acting, passion is acting, ignorance is acting. Only modes are acting. Soul is just observer. Whatever the body I am, is a mixture of these three things. So simple. That's a jnana. No? This is the jnana is that's a they say no need to act because they have that realization. That's why they can stop acting. The living entity individually are being conducted by a particular mode of nature, but at the same time, there is every chance of being influenced by the other two. Generally, all conditioned souls in the metal engagement are influenced by mode of passion because every one of them is trying to lord over the material nature to fulfill his individual desires. But in spite of individual modes, but in spite of individual mode of passion, there is always a chance of being influenced by the other modes of nature by association. If one is in good association, he develops the mode of goodness, and bad association develops ignorance. Nothing is stereotype. One can change his habit by good or bad association. So this is the only choice we have actually. Our choice we have, the freedom is to choose which mode we want. Otherwise, there is no choice for living entity. Once you choose, then you start working like that. But before that, we have a choice. One can change his habit by good or bad association, and one has to become intelligent enough to discriminate between good and bad. The best association is of the service of devotees of Lord, and by that association, one can become the highest qualified man by the grace of Lord's pure devotee. So, we discussed this previously also. Our karma has three aspects: one which comes from past life, one which we have created till the age of 4, which comes from our mother. But after that, it is still we have some chance of changing. That is only with association. Otherwise, it is all program. As we have seen in the life of Narada Muni, he became the topmost devotees of the Lord simply by the association of pure devotee. By birth, he was born as a maid servant, son of a maid servant, and had no knowledge of his father and no academic education, even of the lowest status. But simply by associating, he got the highest. So, by such association, taste come from hearing, chanting, and this is what to associate with persons engaged in lording it over material world means to enter into darkest region of hell. This is what happens when we sit in front of TV. One should try to raise himself by the association of great soul. That is the way of perfection of life. Okay, thank you all very much. I've taken 1.5 hour for it. So tomorrow we'll continue. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.